As we move into real estate, and refinancing for a new fixed rate scheme can help some people lower their mortgage repayments. For many property owners in the UAE currently paying mortgage repayments or about to start them, it's kind of time to thinking of this 1 year strategy. Why are UAE homeowners with mortgages perhaps better off with a 1 year fixed rate refinance deal? To speak more about this, we're joined by the real estate expert Riccardo Scala from Riccardo Scala Estates. He's always generous with his time. Thanks very much for joining us again this afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we?
Look, I'm very good. Straight off the bat, congratulations on all your social media posts. You're a right influencer these days.
Oh, do you like what we do?
I
It's good
did.
fun.
I saw one yesterday about how the frustration of you sell the wealthiest property ever in the history of Dubai, and then you have to run the risk of having all the important documents sent via the post.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fun stuff that we have to encounter. Whether it's a 1 million dirham sale or a 1 billion dirham sale, whatever it is, it's always easier if we can do things digitally because that's how Dubai sets things up now. But there are just some wonderful clients out there that are very old school, and it's just a little bit frustrating. So other realtors in the city can sympathise with these kind of posts.
No, I think you're doing well to get a little bit of humour and expose some of the realities of what people perceive as being
Yeah.
a very glamorous job. On this issue, UAE homeowners, if you've got a mortgage, Ricardo, why do you think we're better off with a 1 year fixed rate refinance deal?
A 1 year or even a 2 year, whatever can be offered to you from your banks, it's worth looking at and considering. You know, the UAE is pegged to whatever happens in the US, and with interest rates in the US fluctuating constantly, especially over the past few years, and now we have all the scenarios in the US now where the presidential elections and nominations are all happening. There's certain volatility, but we are as a nation pegged to what happens with the US dollar. So if there's an opportunity to take a fixed rate for a year or even 2 years, it's worth considering.
Ricardo, there were conversations, and we keep an eye on the financial markets globally. There were conversations that Fed might shed, 25 basis points or even 50 basis points of the interest rates by the end of the year or first quarter next year. Wouldn't that mean that the interest rates could actually drop as compared to fluctuate on the higher end?
It could, but of course, as we have to stress, these are all speculative until it actually does happen. So
True.
it could go down, but it could continue to keep on going up. The volatility has been there for the past few years. So it really depends as an owner who has a mortgage, like myself, and you have the scenario where you think, do I wait it out and risk maybe my mortgage increasing this year, or will it go down? It's really a situation which is individualized for each individual family.
So you really got to assess your own financial position first before you make these decisions.
I think you do, and I think obviously, as a mortgage owner, depending on what you're owning, depending on what that property is, depending on what mortgage you have in place, of course, the higher the borrow, the bigger the impact is if,
Right.
if interest rates change. So if it really depends on a case by case status, but if the opportunity is there maybe to lock things in for a year, it's not a bad idea because if the rates do go up, then you're locked. If the rates do go down, then in 12 months you can drop down.
This is a very good thought that you've put into the minds of people. And then could this be used as a practice for someone who probably is keeping a keen eye on the global financial scenarios? Like, because mortgages are long-term, associations
Yeah.
with the bank. You've gone in for 20, 25 years. So for that time, like, if we see, say, maybe it's 7 years down the line, if we see there is a financial challenge that comes through in the world, all of a sudden you realize that there could be a change and you could speak to your bank and reassess your mortgages.
Yeah, and mortgage brokers or bank lenders are open to having those conversations. We are in a marketplace now where more and more people are taking mortgages to buy properties because, as we have spoken in the past, guys, it's now working out maybe more financially beneficial to buy your property than to rent it from a landlord and pay more than what you would on a mortgage. So mortgages are able to be discussed with the banks, and there are solutions out there that can suit everybody.
It's a fine time. So I guess people are asking, and recapping, the US Fed Reserve have known that a rate cut might not happen in March. Many people are hoping for it, and many people are asking the question, why should they refinance now? I think the best thing is just to kind of have a conversation with the bank. Ask them what their view is and what their situation is, and maybe locking in for 1 or 2 years is a good sort of each way bet at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it might happen in March. It might not happen in March. If you are a family and you're budgeting your finances over the year, logic would say that it's easier to maybe lock something in for a year. That way you can just plan simply. And then, if the rates do go down, then sure, at the end of 12 months, you can then readjust again.
How important is the role of a mortgage broker in cases like this, wherein you're looking to buy a property for yourself, or you're looking to buy smaller units for investment, and have someone to guide you or advise you as a mortgage broker?
So a mortgage broker is a valuable asset to have if you know a good mortgage broker or you're recommended one to work with. What's important to remember is everything in Dubai is linked. All the interest rates are the same. So the banks will offer all the same type of interest rates. Mm-hmm. It's not that you can really get one better interest rate at one bank over the other, unless you've got, it depends on your financial stability, et cetera, et cetera. But in general, all the mortgage rates are very, very similar. So then it comes down to A, how good a relationship you have with your bank. Do you need a mortgage broker, or can you do it yourself with your bank? Or B, if you have no experience, then the role of a mortgage broker is to work with every single lender in Dubai to find that best rate for you with the terms and conditions that are as flexible as possible for your individual needs.
Yeah, that's the best way to go. Well, if you want more details and to work with Riccardo, you can go to the website Riccardo Scala Estates. Riccardo, we appreciate your time. Thanks again for sharing your advice.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure, gents. Speak soon.
There he is, Riccardo Scala. As we said, the website Riccardo Scala Estates. TSB, Talk Sport Business on Talk 100.3.